Today we are taking a look at Google Assistant, the new assistant that comes with Google's new messaging app Allo. Google Assistant is kind of a replacement, or let's say an upgrade to Google Now. Whereas Google Now only responded to the question you asked Google Now and did not take context into account, Google Assistant feels much more like having a conversation with an AI. It can do most of what Google Now can do, and it will then, after you've asked it a question, provide you with follow-up questions that you might have. One thing that I found that Google Assistant can, however, not do is listen to a song and tell you which song it is. But if you try, then it'll tell you that this functionality is likely going to come soon. Let's dive in then. To start off, we could simply ask Google Assistant what it can actually do. And you can of course type the question, or alternatively simply ask Google Assistant. Well, what can you is not really what we wanted to ask. We wanted to ask what can you do. And here we go. So what Google Assistant can do is, as I said, most of what Google Now can do, but what's interesting about it is it can give you these subscriptions, for example, meaning that you will get the weather every day. For instance, if we ask what the weather is, what's the weather? It'll tell me what the weather is, and I can also ask, what about this weekend? What about tomorrow? And then what's interesting is I can say, send me daily. And then it'll ask me at what time I'd like the weather to be sent to me. Let's say I get up at 9 a.m. Okay, that's very nice. Alright, but back to what Google Now can do. Or more precisely, Google Assistant, not Google Now. It can of course answer basic questions, tell you things like what does hello mean in Spanish, or look for flights, and all of the other stuff. Tell you the news going out, all of that. And what is new this time is it can also let you play little games. Let's say you're bored. You could, for instance, play a little quiz game. I don't know, like a math quiz. And it'll open this little quiz right inside of the app. I know it'll ask you basic questions, but we don't really care for that now. Let's get back to the Google Assistant. Okay, so these little quizzes and little games are fun, but that's not really what this is about. Let's say we want to know when Albert Einstein was born. Oops. And as Google Now would, it will give me the answer, obviously. But what's different now is, as I've said before, this is much more like a conversation. I could then follow up by asking what Albert Einstein's inventions were. It would then tell me, oh, what about Isaac Newton? Alright, so that's clearly fun and games. But let's say you also want to be entertained a bit more. It could tell you a joke, I believe it can. Let's say, tell me a joke. Alright, that was not that funny, let's try another one. Well, clearly Google Assistant has to work on its funniness, but overall I think it's a pretty neat concept and a much more of a direct competitor to something like Siri than Google Now really was. This feels more like being in touch with someone. Google Assistant will learn about you, it will learn about your habits, and as I said previously, it takes context into account. We could, for instance, also do a reverse image search. Let's search for this image here. Alright. and it will tell me that this character is from a movie called Rango. It'll show me a few more pictures of the DVD, but let's say we want to know what studio made Rango. Wow, that actually didn't work as well as I thought. It just gave me an introduction to the movie, but I actually asked a specific question, what studio made Rango, and actually that question was, as you saw, a proposed question by Google Assistant. Well, this is what happens. Whatever. Let's say we want similar movies. I think you get the gist of it. This is more like having a conversation, whereas Google Now is more like asking one question, getting one answer. We can of course also ask it to set a timer or to remind us, just anything that Google Now could, or pretty much anything, because as I said, asking for what song this is has clearly not worked out yet. But alright, I think this concludes our very first look at Google Assistant. I think it's a step in the right direction, but they clearly need to work on their Allo app. But that's a topic for another video maybe. I would like to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then please consider giving me a like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is linked down below. And again, all the support has been marvelous. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.